Are you there? Can you hear me? So how long have you worked for the Athens police?
25 years.
Okay. And do you remember, so you don't remember, about 10 years ago, when you came over to my house and you got on a ladder and you looked at a piece of my wall that I thought could be a bullet?
I may remember about a bullet, but I don't remember climbing a ladder, and I may have. But then again,
Oh, you don't remember that?
it may have.
You remember me talking about a bullet, though?
Bullets are fired all over this place every day.
Yeah.
Bullets go up, bullets come down.
And then I said, oh, I think I have something in my wall that looks like a bullet.
Well, is it a bullet?
Well, what you did is you went up on the ladder and you scraped it out of my wall. Do you remember that one?
Was there a police report taken, Miss Schaefer?
Yes, I believe there was earlier on about that bullet.
Did you get a copy of the police report? And what does the police report say?
I never got a copy of it. But I was wondering, when you went up and scraped that bullet out of my wall, did you do that on your own? Or did somebody tell you to do that?
Went up to somebody's place without their permission to do so, or them call it.
You would go to somebody's place without their permission? What?
Right, police just don't go on people's property unless we're called to the person.
Well, there was another call, so I called you to come over about some car that was like in my driveway. And then while we were there, I was talking about it with you, and then you're like, oh yeah, let me go see this bullet. Or so I was like, I'll show you the bullet.
If there was a bullet, we recovered it, and there would be a police report.
Well, they never wanted to come look at it, but I did call it in. So it was still there.
Yeah, and the police came and looked at a supposed gunshot or bullet in the wall.
Yeah, Jeff Clark came, and he didn't look at it, unfortunately.
And recovered a bullet, it would be an evidence.
Right, but Jeff Clark came over, and he did not even go up in the ladder to look at it. And then he said, oh, that's not a bullet. So that's how he dismissed that report.
Well, that would be true. That's a bullet. It's a bullet.
He was too far to see it, but he just said it anyway. But anyway, so then so it was still in my wall. And you know what's funny there, Mr. Johnson? What was your first name again? I forget it. Tim.
The giant wheel sitting on the track where dirt flows, or she's concerned he's going to get hit.
So anyway, you know what's interesting is right before you came over and took that bullet out of my wall, I emailed top police management, and I told them, you know what, that bullet is still on my wall, and I'm going to show it to everybody who comes here. And I'm going to get everybody's opinion because you guys are not coming to look at it. And you know what happened a week after that? You came over to my house and scraped it out of my wall. And the evidence was gone. Now, why would you do that? Did they send you to come get that bullet?
That's what I'm saying. He's just walking along the tracks now towards the Whitehead area.
Ms. Schaefer, who is they?
Your police management. Did anybody tell you to do that? Because why did you do that?
If I was told by police manual or told by the property owner there's a bullet, and a bullet is part of a criminal investigation, that bullet would be put in evidence.
Okay, so then why didn't you put it into, why did you get up there and start scraping away at the evidence and instead of doing it more carefully? You destroyed my evidence there. And I called management after that to complain about you. And I never saw you again after that. That was the last time I saw you.
Oh.
You never came back. They never sent you back. Did you get promoted around that time, like about 10 years ago?
No.
Okay. Well, so you're telling me right now nobody told you or mentioned anything, like your management, about the bullet in my wall?
No.
Okay.
Bullet. Only way I would know about a bullet in the
So
wall.
then why did you get up there and start scraping it out of my wall?
I don't know. You have to.
Do you remember this incident?
I remember multiple comments. I asked where you lived, and then when I looked on the map here, and I'm going, yep, I know who I'm talking to.
Right. So do you remember getting up on a ladder at my house when I wanted to show you a piece of evidence on the side of my house
That's a possibility.
Okay, so you kind of remember it. You don't remember it.
If I was called to your house, let's go over it again, whether it's your house or any resident in Athens, Clark County says, hey, I believe my house has a gunshot and a bullet in it, any officer goes and investigates.
Well, this was after the bullet was just still there in my wall. This was after police.
It doesn't matter. Is that the person, the citizen calls the police. And then it calls communication. Communication takes the information down and then dispatches the zone officer to that area.
Right. So you would consider it your job to go look at it if I mentioned to you, like, hey, this could have been a crime. And you would consider it part of your job to go check it out if you were there.
But the dispatch will dispatch the officer for it.
Yeah.
Communication, dispatch the officer, and they go out there and investigate.
Okay. So you remember now that I asked you about the bullet in my wall, and you came over with the ladder, and you went up and you looked at it.
I didn't come over with no ladder because I don't carry a ladder.
No, you came over, and then I got you a ladder, and we went up and looked at it. One of my ladders.
Okay.
You remember that?
There's a potential of me remembering that.
Okay, all right.
I climbed a lot of ladders.
Okay. You're not denying that it happened, because actually I logged it in.
It may have happened.
Okay. All right.
Where are we at and where are we going?
Well, you took the bullet out of my wall with some kind of pocket knife you had.
Back over this, Ms. Schaefer. If I took the bullet out of your wall, where will the bullet be?
You know what? It shattered. There was like it was a fragmenting bullet, and there was fragmented pieces left in the wall.
If there's any evidence, where does it go?
It went into my yard, I guess.
Okay, but if there's any bullet, again, if the police recover anything that's a bullet, that's a criminal act, reckless conduct, discharging a firearm, and there's evidence obtained, that evidence then goes where?
Well, wherever they want it to go, I guess.
We don't. Everything's recorded, Ms. Schaefer. It's a modern technology.
Well, it wasn't, Mr. Johnson, and that's why there was corruption here. Jeff Clark didn't even look at it. Jeff Clark is no longer with the Athens Clark Police, right? I heard that he's...
It's the chief of police for UGA.
Right. So, yeah, there was corruption here, Mr. Johnson. Jeff Clark, he went up, he looked at it with a smirk on his face.
Nobody's trying to be...
Did he take pictures of it when he came over? Did he record it? No, there's no pictures that he took. He should at least have taken a picture of it, right, to prove that he was there? But he didn't. So right there, that's evidence of corruption.
I wasn't there with Jeff.
Well, no, there's no pictures entered into the log, into the record. So right there, that's proof of your corruption. He came over. Now, if I would have known, I should have videotaped him. But he came over so quick. I didn't have time to, because he came over when I wasn't expecting him. So, yeah, he came over. He looked up at it with like a smirk on his face. And then he says, oh, that's not a bullet. And then he leaves. So, and he did not take a picture. Nothing.
What do you...
You think I'm lying about this? Why would I lie?
I think in your mind...
Okay, what do you think he did then? You tell me what he did. You think you know more? What did Jeff Clark do when he came over here? You tell me what you think he did.
I'm not Jeff Clark, and I wasn't with Jeff Clark, so I can't tell you about Jeff Clark.
Okay, well, I can tell you what he did. He went up one rung on the bottom ladder, threw his head back up, looked at it. He couldn't even see where it was at first. And then he says, that's not a bullet. He came down with a smirk on his face. Now, that's my interpretation. Okay, you can strike that part.
What does the smirk on the face have to do anything?
Kind of like, you think I was going to look at that? See, what happened was the other guy, Mike Sindell, was supposed to come over, and he was about to come over. I was waiting for him. And then Jeff Clark showed up instead.
Schaefer, are you okay?
What, this story? You don't like this story? No, this is fact. I have Mike Sindell recorded talking about this.
Sorry?
I'm recording you right now, too.
Oh, don't worry. This is recorded.
Great. So I recorded Mike Sindell talking about it, and he... Yeah. So this is fact. This is not fiction, and I'm sorry if it upsets you, but I can send you the recordings of Mike Tyndall talking.
What is your end game?
My end game is you destroyed the bullet in my wall. You remember being there, and you're not answering me Yes or no?
Not what?
You now said it's possible you were there. You now said it's possible you went up on a ladder.
Possibility. I've been to your place.
Yeah.
I've already said.
And you took your pocket knife and you scraped my bullet out of the wall, destroying my evidence 1 week, maybe even less than a week, after I told management I'm going to show this bullet to everybody. And you came and destroyed my bullet, and I never saw you again. But here we are, talking on the phone again.
Schaefer?
Yeah.
What is the bullet? What is that in reference to? What is that? What is the point of the bullet?
What is a point of a bullet?
Some drunk, crazy people were driving by and popping rounds off
No.
there, which happens a lot now.
Remember, that was the side of my house. You had to be in the other person's backyard to shoot it. It's not from the road.
Yeah.
How many people wander off into the side of somebody's house? Drunk people, do they drive off into somebody's backyard?
They shot from the side of the house.
What's that?
Are you sure they shot from the side of the house?
Yeah, because that's the only way you could get the side of my house. There's trees in front of it.
Every New Year's Eve, we have celebratory gunfire because people are dumb and they go outside and shoot.
No, this bullet trajectory went up the wall, so it didn't come from above.
But again, I'm not saying it was a celebratory. I'm saying people do stupid stuff every day.
Okay, that's your opinion, but either way, there was a bullet in my wall.
I see it every day.
So you're not denying that it could have been a bullet now?
Ms. Schaefer,
Yeah.
this call was in reference to someone had hijacked you and about your computer stuff, Skype.
Right, but we were talking about the bullet thing right now.
Bullets that were 10 years ago?
Yeah, because you were the one that took it out of my wall. Do you remember that?
Ms. Schaefer, if you have such distrust in your police department, why do you call your police department?
Because some officers are better than others. And isn't that funny? I never saw you again after that bullet in my wall. Oh, you came over to my house all the time, remember?
I'm sure I think I came over after that, too.
No, I never saw you again because I was going to ask you about this.
All the time.
And I never could ask you because I never saw you again. But now I'm asking you. So you're not denying that that was a bullet in my wall? Or it could have been?
I don't know.
Okay. You don't know.
If there, again, I'm going to say this one more time, Ms. Schaefer.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bullet. Let's talk about the bullet itself. In your wall.
Mm-hmm.
An officer came to the house and looked and could see. And
No, he didn't look at it.
bullet.
He didn't look at it.
He had found a bullet. That bullet would be where?
In evidence.
There you go.
Yeah, but he didn't come look at it, unfortunately.
If there was no bullet observed, then there's no bullet. And it's not a bullet.
That's right. If they say they don't see a bullet, then it's not a bullet, right?
Right.
That's how it works. See no evil, hear no evil. Now, let me ask you this. Mike Sindel was supposed to come over. Tyndall, actually, is his name. We had it all booked up. He was about to come over. And then Jeff Clark shows up instead. Why did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, isn't that a little strange? Because everybody told me, oh, forensics is going to come look at it. All the officers that I spoke to, patrol officers. Forensics will come over. Forensics will come over to look at it. And so I'd called over to their office and I'd spoken to, I don't know if I spoke to him, but one of the assistants. And they're like, yeah, he's coming over. He's coming over. He'll be over in an hour, So I'm waiting for him to come. And before he's supposed to come, Jeff Clark shows up here by himself instead. Now, isn't that a little odd?
No.
Well, why didn't Mike Tyndall come over? He was supposed to come over. All day they were telling me he's coming over. And then right before he comes over, Jeff Clark comes over. And then I interviewed Mike Tyndall about this later on. Okay?
Let's see, that would have been a supervisor, Mike. And therefore, if he told Jeff, or if Jeff was in the area and heard the call, he may have took that.
No, it was scheduled for hours. And then he came over 15 minutes before. So that's why I wasn't ready to film him and stuff, because I was kind of surprised. Because otherwise I should have taken a video camera and videoed what he did. But either way, is that customary to just come over by yourself? I mean, don't you usually bring somebody for a witness or something?
Nope.
Okay. Well, either way, he came by himself. And he took no pictures of it. Shouldn't he have at least gone up and taken a picture just to prove that he was there?
It depends on what the whole, if it's factual or it could be observed to be something that it's not.
Well, he was too far from it. Because you know what? I got multiple other opinions. And I got a guy recorded. You want to hear the recording of the guy I got recorded who told me that it was a bullet in my wall? And this guy's former military. And he's still around here.
Miss Schaefer, that just because you're former military does not mean a lot.
I've recorded several people.
Your military personnel hardly ever shot.
Because I actually showed that bullet to several people. And after they destroyed the bullet, I called them the people that I showed it to.
You destroyed it.
And I recorded them, and I said, did you think that was a bullet? And I have 3 people saying, yes, I thought that was a bullet. And you know who else? I actually sent the pictures to people online.
Miss Schaefer, listen to what you just said. They think.
Well, yeah, there's probable cause that it's a bullet.
No, thinking is...
Everyone I've showed it to, other than police, thought it was a bullet. Now, why is that?
Well, why would people know, and how would those people know?
Because one guy grew up with guns his whole life. His dad was a competitive shooter. He was from the Arizona reservation.
His dad's a competitive shooter.
And he was, too. I mean, he was involved in it, too. And another guy was former military. Well, who was the other guy? Oh, you know who came over? The former Tara Baker coroner, the guy... He used to be a police officer, Bobby Tribble.
Well, these citizens, these people came over.
Bobby Tribble, I got him to come over. But he got arrested for stealing afterward.
Yeah, so they came over and...
So you think their opinions are not worth it? Only Jeff Clark knows what a bullet is. Jeff Clark is the expert in bullet identification.
I think Jeff said it wasn't a bullet, and probably I said it wasn't a bullet.
No, what you did, you barely looked at it and you scraped it out of my wall. And honestly, you should be charged with obstruction of justice, Mr. Johnson. And right, you're still lying about it now. And I think there's no use us talking anymore because you know you were there, you know what you did, and you're not going to admit it. Okay, but at least now you I got your name, and at least I have you on recording that you think you kind of remember coming over. So that's some evidence for me.
I know. That's why when I looked at the map, I saw the call, and then I saw you, and you started talking. I remembered exactly where you live, and absolutely don't deny that. And every call I've been on there is recorded.
Do you have the recording of you scraping the bullet out of my wall? Like, I can get the date for that.
I don't keep up with that. That's all.
How long do they keep those recordings? Probably.
I don't know.
Probably not that long.
Probably not.
Yeah.
This is not a criminal case.
It is a criminal case. What you did, you obstructed justice by destroying evidence, sir.
Well,
and if I have the camera, but if I would have known, I should have gotten the body camera. They probably would have been on there.
If I obstructed your justice.
What's that?
Yes, you have to pay. If I obstructed your justice.
Yeah.
You have to do what you got to do.
Well, I complained to your supervisor, and he agreed, like right after you left. And he agreed what you did was really idiotic. I'm like, why did he do that? He's like, oh, that was pretty foolish. So, I'm not surprised you got promoted. Everybody who's been corrupt got promoted. Chris Nichols, Jeff Clark, you, right? All part of Jerry Salters. He never called me back. He did not act in a professional manner. Now he's the chief. They're not supposed to promote from within. They're supposed to get somebody else, like out from outside. But no, they got him. So, yeah, I'm not surprised you are now a supervisor. And you know what you did. And you're not denying you did it. You're not denying you did it. You know you did it. And I want to find out why you did it, actually, but you're not going to tell me. So.
NWO, Miss Schaefer. NWO.
What's that?
NWO.
NWO. What does that mean?
New World Order.
New World Order? What does that mean? Is that some kind of like Trump type thing, or what? Like
no, no. Trump brings that down.
Like Project 25, or what's new? Like the Illuminati or something like that. What is New World?
The cabal. Yeah, the cabal. Yeah.
Well, hey, if you want to call yourself that, that's your choice.
That's what you're calling it, but I'm opposite of that.
Okay, but you remember scraping that bullet out of my wall, don't you? Just be honest. Okay, you remember, let's take this piece by piece. You remember going up on that ladder, right? I said, here's my ladder. Why don't you take a look at it?
Let me say this again. I think this is the 4th time, Miss Davis. If I went up the wall on your ladder and there was a bullet found, where would that bullet be?
You know what happened? You scraped it out into my yard. That's what happened without me. And I had to shout at you. I had to say, stop scraping it. And then you finally stopped scraping it. You don't remember that?
No.
Okay, so what did you do when you got up there on my ladder? Tell me what you remember.
Again, if I went up the ladder and looked at the wall at the supposed bullet hole,
Yeah.
and I observed the bullet, I would retrieve said bullet, and where would retrieve said bullet go? Into evidence.
So you would retrieve it.
If there's a bullet, yeah, that's what we do.
So you don't deny trying to retrieve the bullet.
I don't know if there was one retrieved. What does the report say?
Well, you came for something else. You came for like a car acting
I
fun.
came for many calls at your place.
Yeah. So this was just like a personal, like I was like, hey, look at the bullet. So we went over there. So I don't know if it would be in the report unless you wrote it. Did you write something about it?
I don't know. It's been over 10 years ago.
Well, I haven't seen you in 10 years.
140-something thousand citizens here, or people in Nashville.
Well, I was waiting for you to come back again, but you never came back. So that was the last time I saw you.
Zone officers just don't come back. Why won't we come back unless we're called?
Well, it's funny because I saw you every time I called pretty much. And then after that call, I never saw you again. You would agree that we have not seen each other in many years, right?
You live in Zone 7.
Oh, did you get transferred after that?
If I'm the Zone 7 officer, that's who you're mostly going to see.
Well, where did you get transferred? Like around that time, 10 years ago?
We get transferred all over.
Actually, it was a little less than 10 years ago. Probably by now.
Yeah, a little less than 10 years.
Well, actually, by now, it's getting close to 10 years because I think it was 2014.
It could be.
Yeah, so it's getting close. I have not seen you in 10 years.
I would hope not. Most citizen police contact, that's not how that goes. We don't see people every day.
I know, but I've made multiple calls since then, and I've seen many other officers, and I've never seen you.
What? Okay.
Did you get promoted? When did you get promoted to supervisory?
No, I'm not the zone officer.
When did you become your position now?
What was that? 2020 maybe.
Okay, so between 214 and 220, where were you basically? Were you still on the west side, or?
I was at the police department.
I know, but why didn't I see you between 214? Did you go to a different?
You're only going to, here, let's go over this again. So you live in Zone 7, Ms. Schaefer.
Okay.
And the only person you're going to see if you call the police is the Zone 7 unit.
Right.
When that zone officer is who you will see.
Well, there's more than one. I mean.
When we first met, yes, I was the Zone 7 officer. So therefore, you saw me when I came out.
Well,
now, if I was off, you would get another officer.
Yeah.
Or if I was tied up on another call in Zone 7 or another zone, you would get another officer. That's
right.
how that works.
Okay. And did you get transferred out of Zone 7 at some point? Around 214?
Went to downtown, went to criminal investigations, here and there.
Oh, when were you in criminal investigations?
Oh.
And what were you trespassing or what category? Oh, you can't talk about it?
No, that's not the COVID stuff.
What?
You don't have a need to know.
Seriously?
Seriously.
So, okay, can you tell me what years you were there?
Nope.
But you just told me you were there, so you can talk about that.
But I wasn't in the property crime.
Okay. Criminal investigations. Well, that's interesting. And then they took you out of it.
Yep.
Can you tell me when they took you out of it about? Probably around 220, right?
A year ago.
Okay. Oh, so you were in there for quite a while.
If you say so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Did you do anything related to me while you were in criminal investigations?
No. When this call came in, I thought, who is this call? And then I started looking at the history of calls, and then I saw, and we were talking. I said, hey, where do you live? And I pulled up the map, and I see where you live. And I go, I am very familiar with Miss Schaefer.
Well, it's funny because I don't think your voice sounds like I remember, but, I guess it was a long time ago, so hard to remember exactly.
Exactly. But, yeah.
But now that I talk to you more, maybe I can remember it a little more. Now that I'm talking to you more, it sounds a little more familiar.
What is it you're trying to remember? What is this that you're trying to get accomplished?
Well, I'm glad that you admitted that you were here, that you were on a ladder, and that you would try to retrieve the...
I
whatever the evidence was out of the wall.
Multiple times. I can't remember how many times I've been to your house.
Right, but you don't deny that you're on a ladder. You don't deny it.
I may have been. If you asked me to look at something on the wall and it possibly be a bullet, I probably was on a ladder.
Now, do you have a good memory?
For the most part, I would think so.
So, I mean, if you went on a ladder at somebody's house...
Yeah, I remembered your voice, right?
Right, if you remembered my voice, why can't you remember being on a ladder?
I said, because I've been on many ladders.
Yeah, but it's a little bit unusual for somebody to say, hey, get up on this ladder and look on a bullet. Look at a bullet.
What are you talking about? If I go to a call and someone says, hey, I believe up here or there, over here, the suspect ran up that ladder or the gunshot's up here, or you think you're the only one that calls in about a bullet in a wall?
It doesn't happen like that often, I don't think.
Oh, it does happen. You might want to pull up those records.
Okay. Well, why do people shoot at walls? I mean, that's kind of weird.
Well, let's go back over this again. Here in Athens, the community, we got a bunch of rebellious people at times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they like to celebratory gunfire, like on New Year's Eve, they'll go out and shoot guns in the air. Or sometimes you got these people that just drive by or drunk driving or whatnot, but having fun with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
They want to fling their guns out the doors and start popping rounds off, celebratory. To them, a hazard to everybody else.
Right, so they shoot up in the air and then the bullet falls down.
No, some drive by in a car and shoot out their car.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, welcome to Athens.
Wow. Well, okay, I guess it happens, yeah. So you've seen a lot of bullets, I suppose.
Yeah. What was
Now,
There was an incident just maybe a month or so ago over there in front of Piedmont where a U-Haul truck shooting at a guy coming out of it, and then they was chasing around each other. So,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of crime in Athens, I guess.
Yeah.
So, now who do you report to? By the way, what does Chris Nichols do nowadays? He's still around, right?
Chris Nichols is on the top echelon.
He's what?
He's the top echelon.
Yeah, he's the top guy now. He was a junior guy when I first met him.
Yeah, he's top echelon now.
How did he get to the top so fast? It's only been 10 years.
Well, I guess in your world of corruption,
That's why they promoted him, right?
that's how that works. People promoted for being corrupt.
That's, well, hey, you said it, not me. Now, what does he...
Yeah, I'm just repeating what you said.
Now, what does he do exactly right now? Do you know? Like, what is his role? Because I don't understand what his role is.
Over records.
He's over record. Yeah, what does that mean? What does he do?
He's over records.
Yeah, can you describe what that entails?
Report.
What?
Reports.
Reports.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, like, all the officers make their police reports, and he files it? Or, I mean, what does he do?
He's over it. He manages it. Manages the personnel and the administration.
Okay. So he doesn't do, like, any investigation stuff. He does more like, you're just saying administrative work.
Now, look, there's this one officer that I can send you.
Who's that?
Nah, he's probably corrupt.
Who is it?
Yeah, no. I think this says all of our officers are top notch.
Oh, that's what you say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is corruption in police at some point. Are you saying that all police are all perfect all the time?
No, it's like when you go to the grocery store, you get a bag of apples.
Exactly.
Like, go home, get a bag of apples, you think you're going to eat a nice fresh apple, and what is it? There's a rotten one.
And one rotten one can spoil the whole bunch. Isn't that the saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens. But anyway, so Chris Nichols does what again?
Captain over administration.
And does he have any role at all in, like, investigations or setting investigations? None at all.
Nope.
Okay. So...
Depends on what time you're looking at, though.
What do you mean, like certain time of the day or something?
No, certain times of the years. What years, when, what.
Well, what difference would it make what year it is, what his job is?
Well, one time he was over CID, so.
What's CID?
Criminal investigation.
Yeah, well, he was, but now they got that other guy.
Who's the other guy?
Aubrey Epps.
That's right.
And so Chris Nichols, because I asked him, I was like, does Chris Nichols do any more investigations? And he did not really give me a clear answer. I mean, he was kind of like, yeah, not really, but he can if he wants to, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a police officer.
But he can't just go investigate whatever he wants to, right? I mean, or can he, because he's so high up?
Yeah.
If he's like, oh, today I'm going to investigate this, he can do that?
If he feels like it.
Well, that's kind of weird. You would think he would stick to his job title, right? Don't most people have job titles and you kind of stick to them?
The main number one job title is what? Police officer.
Okay, so I guess my question is, if he wanted to, which you say he can do what he wants to, could he have anything still to do with investigations in this neighborhood or with me?
Well, it depends on what the crime is, I would say.
Like for
It would be a crime.
well, if I called in and said, "Oh, this happens," vandalism, tampering, that could he say, "Hey, don't investigate that."
It could be.
Like, don't listen to her; she's crazy. Don't investigate it. Could he do that?
Who did that?
Could he do that if he wanted to? Chris Nichols.
Let's say what?
Could he, let's say I called in with a report of something.
Well, if you call in with a complaint, the officer comes to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any validity to your complaint, and as long as it's criminal matter, because that's what police officers deal with. Police deal with crime. We don't deal with civil issues. We don't deal with anything else.
Right.
We try to assist as much as we can, but that's not our job. Our job is for crime.
Right.
Crime.
I get you.
A crime.
Sure.
Okay.
But the question was, and he heard about it, can he stop? Could he affect the investigate? Could he say, let's stop that investigation or let's do this investigation? Like, could he put his 2 cents in if he wanted to?
He sent them, but no, that doesn't stop anything.
Okay. So if he gave his opinion like, oh, don't investigate this, it would not stop the investigation.
That's just an opinion. That wouldn't stop an investigation.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm learning more about how the police department works. Thanks to you. That's good. Now you're my contact over there.
Well, what are you wanting from the police department? What are you wanting?
Okay, well, I recorded on my cell phone, Skype. The video was there yesterday morning, and it was no longer there in the afternoon. And I tried to investigate how to delete it. It's actually a complicated process. It's not so easy. I didn't know how to do it at first. I had to look it up.
I was doing the same thing the other day. I was scrolling through my phone. I was looking for a certain text from a certain person. Guess what?
What?
It's gone.
Well, that's weird.
No.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I didn't even touch the phone because I was asleep. So I go back to look at it, and it's gone. And,
So what do you think has occurred here?
well, I believe he got into my house in the ways he's got in before. And he was in my house. We're dealing with, well, I don't know. It's gone. What do you think happened? What do you think happened to my video?
I'm going to speak freely here.
Go ahead.
What came into your house?
Well, for example, he came in before through the crawlspace vents. And I have the sounds on video. You know, there's a lot of evidence that you have not seen.
You found brown that's not even...
Look, I've been recording things on video. You know, after I talked to you, I had a lot more technology. And I have a lot more evidence since then.
Stuff, maybe.
You know, I have a lot more evidence since I've spoken to you.
What kind of? You got paranormal evidence?
No, I have videos. And you know what? I have recorded testimony of the repairman who found, that's how I found it, because the repairman told me about it. And I recorded him, and I got a statement from him, too. And in fact, you want to hear it? You can watch the videos. I have it on YouTube. So, are you calling them crazy? I'm just listening to what the repairman told me. I didn't even go in the crawl space.
When this repairman told you and showed you this stuff,
Yeah.
made a statement that he was, and this repairman, you know his information, right? You got all that.
And you know what? This was like 5 years ago. I called police, and a young patrol officer came over. He wanted to take a report, but Jeff Clark was the commander at the time, and he says, I want to take a report, but Jeff Clark won't let me.
And over here.
He said, Jeff Clark said that a squirrel did it. And so I cannot take a report. That's what happened there. You think no one's corrupt? And so then I called the repairman, and I recorded him without telling him, actually.
There's no evidence of criminal activity.
Yes, and he gave me his statements, and I recorded him as well, that he said a person did it. And, you know, it cost me $400 to fix, by the way. It would take too long to describe it, what was there. So that's his opinion. He saw it. I didn't even see it. Are you telling me that repairman is crazy or a liar? No, could you answer my question once without going, Miss Schaefer, in a patronizing manner? Answer my question. Do you think that repairman is a liar or a crazy person? Yes or no?
Well, there's a lot of...
What? I can barely hear you. What? Do you think he's lying or do you think he's delusional?
Oh, I think he's just trying to make a customer happy.
No, he told me I don't tell people about this situation. He told me on his own. Because if I tell them, they think I'm crazy.
He can't tell you unless you ask him something.
No, he told me there was damage in my crawl space. He came to me with it. He saw it.
What kind of damage?
All right. It's a little weird. What happened was, well, first I felt a draft coming out from the crawl space area, right?
Right.
So he came over there for another repair. And while he was there, I was like, can you I have this draft coming out all of a sudden from this area. Can you check out what's going on down there? And so he went down there. Actually, his crew was there too.
Right.
And I had the whole unit insulated with insulation that's customary, I guess it's the air conditioning.
What was the damage, Ms. Schaefer?
He took out all the insulation from the whole unit up to the, up to the entrance of the vent. And he removed it cleanly at the seams and took it out of the crawl space. It was there 2 months before, and it was gone later on.
What was gone?
All the insulation to the units of the air conditioner unit, all gone.
So something or someone stole insulation.
Yeah, and he wrote me a statement,
Right.
and we have the witnesses of the repairman, and I recorded him too. What's that?
Why would it?
I don't know.
Glass insulation?
I don't know why. I have a couple theories, but I don't know why.
What?
But it's clearly unusual, right?
Was it fiberglass insulation?
I think it's I don't know. It's on the statement.
Stuff? Yellow stuff?
It cost me $400 to replace.
Wow. That's some big old rodents or something in there.
Should be right there.
No, because it was removed cleanly at the seams and no scraps were left. It was like it had never been there before. But the only reason we knew it had been there before.
Well, now, that could be so now.
No, because he checked it.
The previous repairman?
No, because that same repairman checked it 2 months before because I'd had a couple issues going on. So I had to keep calling him back.
Okay.
So he checked it, and then I had another issue, and I was like, oh, because he told me, first
What is the point you're trying to get to?
Well, do you think that's a little unusual that somebody came into my crawl space and took out all the, insulation off the unit? That's a kind of...
I think it's very unusual.
Right, and...
Someone to go out of their way to crawl in your crawl space.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
And to steal the insulation around your thing.
Uh-huh.
And to do that, for whatever value or worth of that, I have no idea. Yeah, I think it's very unusual. Very unusual.
And do you agree with the repairman? Is that evidence for you?
Nope, because I haven't spoke to the repairman.
Well, I can play the recording.
Ms. Schaefer, that repairman's probably only telling you what you want to hear.
Okay, you're making an assumption there, but that's a lie. Why are you lying about this? No, he's not telling me what I want to hear because I never told him about the situation.
Again.
He knows nothing about it because if I had told him, he probably wouldn't have given me the statement, right? So I pretended I didn't know what the heck was going on. So I was like, oh, that's so weird. Can you give me a statement? And I have myself recorded talking to him. So stop lying about the situation that I told him to say that. And I have the recordings of me talking with him, and I in no way told him to say that. You want to believe that. In your mind, you cannot understand what the reality is, but I have it recorded.
Suzanne, what are you trying to tell me?
I have it recorded. Do you believe that? You want to hear the recording?
What do you want to accomplish?
Why do you not believe a recording of a repairman talking? Why is that not good evidence for you?
What's the evidence for?
The missing insulation, what we were just talking about.
What's the information for?
The missing insulation.
Oh, same man about site information. Then it went to
No, can we stick to one subject? We're talking about the missing insulation, and I have the repairman recorded, and I did not influence him in any way because you can hear me on the recording talking to him.
I'm trying to be courteous, and we've talked for a while now.
Okay, you don't want to answer the question, do you? Right? So you're talking about me being paranoid about corruption, but why don't you answer this question?
I don't think there's any answer that I can give you.
I said the repairman gave me a statement, and I have him recorded.
A statement about what?
The missing insulation around my unit.
Okay, and what did you do about it?
I called police, and they just ignored it.
Okay. And so...
And by the way, I sent the new police chief, Cleveland Sproul, this information and the video and the recording. And
Cleveland Sproul do about it?
he left the Athens police. He got an interview leaving, and he left shortly after.
Right, okay.
So he ran the heck out of here because he knew this place was not the place he wanted to be, right? He left after a year. He obviously didn't like it. It was like a year and a half. Or he's tried starting to leave. He started interviewing. It was public information. After a year. Why is that? Why do you think he tried to leave after a year?
Because he had already retired from one department, and he had come down here.
Yeah, and he's only going to stay a year?
A little over a year.
Well, he started looking over a year. Like a year and a month or something. That doesn't sound like he liked it too much. But anyway.
He may have to do that. I mean, he don't retire from one career.
Whatever.
He's got a little career.
He's going to go to all that effort just to stay here for a year? Get a new job, move his family, and then just stay for a year?
Well, his family was still up in Virginia.
Right, but, to go through all that effort just to stay for a year?
Why are we going from that?
Well, I'm just telling you that, after I told him about it, he left. But anyway, would you, if you heard this statement from this repairman?
It would change something on my part.
Okay. Let me just ask you, if you heard this statement from the repairman and heard the recording, it's not good in your mind because you think I influenced him to say it. That's your response.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say that.
Okay. Well, you did say that before.
I don't think anybody's, especially this guy, is coming into your place.
Okay, but he came into my crawl space and he took out the insulate, because who else do you think did that?
Well, okay, if I took out the crawl space, why would I not just also take out all the furnace stuff and take
Well, maybe that was the only thing in the way to get into the vent. So he had to take it off, but he couldn't just take off part of it.
How big is the vent? Am I gonna be able to squeeze through the vent?
Yeah, because first they're like, he can't get through that. No, he can get through it because I researched it and I called different places. And the minimum to get in is actually like 7.5 inches, 8 inches. Let's say 8. What's that? Yeah, you can, because the Caving Society said that people can get in. They only accept people that can get in through 8 inches. But this was closer to 11 inches. A little under 11 inches. And I said, can somebody get in like under 10.5, close to 11? And they laughed, and they said, oh, that's easy. Anybody can get in through that. Yeah, do you have a reaction to what I'm saying? It's like I say something, you don't react. It's like you don't listen to what I'm saying. Because I'm talking to the wind. Well, you said, oh, he can't get in, but I called places, and yes, he can get in when it's under like 10 to 11 inches. And by the way, he's very skinny at that time. Like, super skinny. Like a skeleton.
Well, it may be a skeleton, or it could be paranormal or something spirit. No doubt.
Okay, well, so you believe somebody took the insulation crawl space about a foot away from that, but you wouldn't believe that somebody crawled in through the vent, right next to that. Now, why do you believe one and not the other?
Well, why do I believe in the paranormal, spiritual thing?
Now, okay, do you believe my repairman is a ghost?
No.
Okay.
Repairman was just probably saying something.
So you think that's real, right? Do you believe it? So you understand my repairman's a real person. You understand what a real person is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you believe he's a real person.
If they think we're just like I'm trying to end this conversation going nowhere, I'm sure the repairman did the same thing.
No. He was a friend of mine. And in fact, he volunteered to give a statement. But, honestly, he didn't know. I feel bad I tricked him a little bit because I didn't tell him about the situation. So stop making negative inferences, negative guesses about me, insulting guesses, right, with no evidence. You're just dreaming things up. You're like, oh, I'm sure the repairman felt the same way about you. How dare you lie about me and him?
I'm going to let you go.
How dare you lie about what the repairman thought about me when you have no idea what he thinks about me? Well, stop lying about women, okay? Because that is not true. But I think you should apologize to me. You're making all these negative statements. Would you do it to a man? I don't know if you would. You're saying, oh, I'm sure the repairman felt the same way about you. You have no idea how the repairman felt about me. You don't know him, right? So I think you should apologize to me for that.
Miss Schaefer,
are you going to apologize, or I might make a complaint that you're insulting me, talking about people that don't like me, and you're just making that up. You're making negative statements about me.
Please do so, okay?
What's that?
You need to file a complaint. You have
Well,
the right to do so.
Are you going to apologize first, and then I won't file a complaint?
I'm not apologizing for anything.
So why do you think that repairman doesn't like me?
I didn't say you didn't.
Yes, you did. You go, oh, I'm sure I have it recorded.
No.
You said, I'm sure the repairman felt the same way about you, and that's why he wrote you that statement.
The film, no, it's about accomplishing the job and moving on.
No. You said that he gave me that statement just to get rid of me.
If that's what you believe, I can't change that.
You don't know this repairman, and you don't know why he gave me the statement. So why would you say that?
I'm saying it because, just like I said, I'm about to hang up here because this is going nowhere.
Well, you shouldn't say statements about the way my repairman feels about me in a negative manner when you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So you apologize for saying that.
No, I'm not going to apologize.
Are you going to express regret?
No, I'm not.
So you're proud of saying that my repairman is just trying to get rid of me, and that's why he gave me the statement? You stand by that statement.
He can't get rid of you. He's at your place. He is trying to complete...
No, he gave it to me later on, like a month later.
Okay.
We conversed over several times because he was pretty perturbed by this. He's never seen it before.
Okay.
He didn't know the situation. I didn't tell him, but he was upset enough about what he saw to want to give me a statement.
He gave you a statement.
Yes,
okay?
We spoke several times. So what you're saying is false to me.
He gave a statement to something removed or someone removed.
That a person did it, yes.
No.
In my crawl space.
In your crawl space?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you accept that now, finally? Is it sinking in? All right, see, everything I tell you, you go, oh, I'm sure the repairman was just trying to get rid of you. You're making negative assumptions about me that are not based in reality. You're just making your own visions of what happened. You're dreaming up scenarios that didn't happen.
I'm going off my own experience, and I'm going off the other.
Yeah, but you don't know what happened in this specific case. You never spoke to that repairman. You have no idea. So you should not make a person who's good with evidence doesn't make general assumptions that fit his worldview every time he hears something new.
Thanks for have a good day.
Okay, well now you're in trouble because now you know you said something you shouldn't have said.
I guess I'm in trouble.
Yep, you're in trouble. All right, well I'll let you go.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.